السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ibn al-Hussein وعلى أولاد al-Hussein وعلى أصحاب al-Hussein. Even after 1400 years, the fragrance of Imam Hussein's blood still lingers in the air of Karbala, which penetrates the hearts of the Zayareens. Now Zayareens are pilgrims and they journey towards the holy shrine during Arbaeen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ali Shanawar Mehdi and welcome back to my channel. So currently we're in Queen's Victoria Gardens and the Arbaeen procession is about to take a start. This is in the Melbourne city, Melbourne, Australia, and it would have been way better personally in Karbala, but inshallah next year, if with you guys' prayers I can go and you guys can also come with me. And the people that went to Karbala this year, may Allah reward them and make them experience the Karbala again next year. So now I have Mustafa Bhai with me and also Amar Bhai, and I'm going to be asking a few questions to clear up some questions people might have for Arbaeen. So the first question is, what is Arbaeen?
Assalamu alaikum. Arbaeen is an Arabic word which is the 40th. So in many cultures, the 40th, after someone's passing away, the 40th is celebrated or commemorated because they want to remember what they have done. So for a revered person like Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we commemorate the 40th so that whatever he did, his sacrifice, is remembered. And that 40th has now become a religious obligation on us because of the message that he carries, and we have done it, as you mentioned, for more than 1300 years.
Thank you very much. Also another question, what is the significance of Arbaeen?
So the significance of this procession of the 40th that we commemorate every year is the message of what Imam Hussein alayhi salam did for Islam. If it was not for the sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we wouldn't have known anything about this pure and amazing religion of ours. His sacrifice was against a very tyrant and a leader who was an oppressor. And he stood alone, only with a few of his companions, only a few of his friends, and fought a very big army, which was the Yazid's army. So the message that is very relevant to this time as well, and to all of the times, is the message that there is an oppressor in every century, and you have to stand against those oppressors.
Thank you again. One last question. Now, we should consider Imam Hussein alayhi salam a role model, and he was a very brave person who stood against oppression. Now, a few other words to clear up who Imam Hussein alayhi salam was, please.
Yes, so Imam Hussein alayhi salam was the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This grandson of the Prophet was beloved by not the Prophet but the whole Ummah. They loved Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They knew who he was. He was a scholarly figure. He was a brave figure. He was someone who taught the true religion. He was someone who was always for peace. Most importantly, he was someone who advocated for the purest form of religion to be shown to the people. Why he stood up against Yazid was that the face of Islam was being distorted. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam, being the person that he was, he could not stand that distorted figure, that distorted picture of the Islam, which is why he did what he did, and which is why we remember him after such a long time even. So his sacrifice, being the grandson of the Prophet, being the son of Imam Ali alayhi salam, being the son of Bibi Fatima Zahra salamullahi alayha, gives him significant importance not only in Islam but all freedom lovers.
Thank you very much for clearing up my misconceptions. Now, Amar Bhai, if you have anything to say, any questions?
Yeah, definitely. Mustafa, I'd like to ask you, who was Sayyida Zainab and what did she do?
So Sayyida Zainab was a very revered figure in Islam. She was the sister of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and the daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam. The movement that took place with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, it started with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, there's no doubt. He initiated this movement, he started this movement, which we still see. But after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the whole movement was up to Sayyida Zainab. If it was not for her, we wouldn't have seen this movement. So in a way, we can say that Imam Hussein alayhi salam started this movement, and we can still see the life in it. And Sayyida Zainab was the one who breathed life in it as well. So she's the one who gave it more significance with her speeches in Yazid's palace. So the reason why she's so revered, the reason why she's so respected in Islam is because of her stand against an oppressor in his palace. So in order to stand against an oppressor in their palace is something that only brave people can do, and that is why she is so respected in Islam.
Yeah, definitely. I really think that Sayyidah Zainab had a big role in Karbala. Another question I'd like to ask is, why was the sacrifice and the revolution of Imam Hussein alayhi salam so important to Muslims?
So the importance that the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam carries is against tyranny and oppression. And we all know that every era sees a tyrant, every era sees an oppressor. In every century, if you go back up until the time of the Prophet, even before the time of the Prophet, you would see that every century had one or more than one tyrant or oppressor. And being what Islam is, and the message of Islam is to stand against oppression. Islam does not allow you to accept oppression. Islam doesn't allow you to accept tyranny. And why Imam Hussein alayhi salam's sacrifice is so important is because he did that. He did the very thing, the very soul of Islam that Islam wants you to do. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was the forebearer of that. And he did that, and his message is relevant to us, not just the Muslims, but also to the rest of the world who believe in freedom.
Definitely. To conclude, I'd like to ask you one last question. What is the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam?
The message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is obviously peace. Islam means peace. At the same time, Islam does not and cannot and will not accept oppression. And that is the main message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that whatever happens, if you see an oppressed people, same like we see in Gaza now, same like we see in Palestine now, if you see an oppressed people, make sure that you stand against the oppressor. Make sure that you raise your voice in whatever situation it is, in however manner that you seem fit. Raise your voice against the oppressor. And that is the very crux of the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that if you stand against the oppressor, if you stand against the tyrant, that is the truest form of the religion.
Definitely. I think that Imam Hussein alayhi salam is not only for Muslims, but also for the human, every human in this world.
Yes, and you bear the responsibility to spread this message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam as well, to get knowledge about Imam Hussein alayhi salam and what he did, his teachings, and how it is relevant not just to Muslims, but for the rest of the world as well. Inshallah.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes.
Why Bibi Zainab is so important for Shia Muslim?
So as mentioned before, Sayyada Zainab was the one who carried the mission of Imam Hussein alayhi salam after he was martyred. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, along with his family, were martyred in Karbala very brutally, and their family was taken prisoner, and the leader of that prisoners was Sayyada Zainab salamullahi alayha, and she did in the utmost manner what Imam Hussein alayhi salam wanted to propagate for Islam. She saved the face of Islam. She saved Islam and the mission of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And she saved Imamat as well. So we all know that the fourth Imam, Imam Sayyad alayhi salam, was also alive in Karbala. So after Imam Hussein alayhi salam was martyred, Imam Sayyad alayhi salam was protected by Sayyida Zainab. She was the one who took care of Imam Sayyad alayhi salam. So the importance of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam is very significant in the Islamic world and also the non-Islamic world, because she, being a woman in those times, raised her voice against oppression, which gives Islam this picture that women also have the responsibility to raise their voices against oppression. Yeah.
Now Mustafa Bhai, he has a couple of questions that he wants to ask.
Okay.
Yeah. Bismillah.
So what does muharram mean?
What does muharram?
Yeah.
So muharram is the first month of Islamic calendar. So you know how there is the calendar that we follow, that's January, February, March?
Yes.
In Islam, those names are given to the month. So the first month is Muharram, second month is Safar, and go on. So it's like we have a calendar which we call the Gregorian calendar. We also have an Islamic calendar. Okay. And the incident of Karbala took place in that very first month of the Islamic calendar in Muharram. And the 40th that we commemorate comes after the month of Muharram in Safar. So right now we are in Safar, the second month of Islamic calendar.
Okay, the second question is, what was the battle that Imam Hussein declined to go to?
So Imam Hussein alayhi salam did not intend to go to any battles. He was confronted by an army that wanted to fight him, and he was confronted by an army who wanted to erase Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam actually went to Hajj, and he left Hajj to avoid any confrontation. He left Hajj to avoid any bloodshed. But he was surrounded by the army in Karbala, and he was given no other choice but to fight the very large army of Yazid. And his stand against such a large army is the true meaning of bravery. It's the true meaning of standing for Islam, standing for what is right. Yes?
The last question is, how do you think it will be painful in Iraq that we go to Karbala?
Yeah.
You know that walk that we
Yeah.
did?
It is a very difficult walk, no doubt. It's very hot in Iraq right now. But this message, this movement of Imam Hussein alayhi salam gives energy to people. It gives so much energy that it doesn't matter if it's raining, it doesn't matter if it's hot. People still do, and people have gone in millions to attend Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala. So it gives us a beautiful energy to show our solidarity and our love for Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Okay.
That's it? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mustafa Bhai. Thank you, Amar Bhai. And thank you for clearing any questions that me and Amar had. Now the Arbaeen procession is about to start. So I'll show you guys the experience we have and how we do the procession here in Melbourne, Australia.
Thank you. Thank you, brothers.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm gonna ask questions to Ali Shanawar. So let's begin. Ali Shanawar, so Imam Hussein's sword had some writing on it. What was the writing saying?
I'm not really sure what the writing had on it, but at your age, you're asking this question. I can tell you're a very clever kid. And yeah, and if you wanna spread some message or ask me another question or spread a message to someone, like just talk about Arbaeen and Imam Hussein alayhi salam, you can.
Yeah. Another thing, we shouldn't be littering around the place, like the schools or something like that, or else it's bad for the environment. You could put it in the bin. If you're not putting it in the bin, it means that you're way too lazy. Another thing that we have to discuss is we cannot waste food. If we're eating dinner and you left some food, we have to finish that food, or else it's going to be in the bin. And the people in Palestine don't have any food, and you can't bring it there for them, right, Adi Shanawar?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a very good message, and that's a message that all of us can really implement into our lives, and it'll make a big difference if everyone unite and do this together. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.